later or whatever. So I can't see me in frame for some reason. Let me try something. I don't know what's happening. Oh, there I go. Okay, cool. I want to be sure now I can't see you, but I can see me. Great.
I'm here. No worries.
Yeah. Well, just be sure that we got it in frame.
Yep, you're there.
Yeah, this was perfect timing because I could weigh in before I eat. After
Okay,
after I pooped and before I eat.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah. So okay. And we can maybe the next time we meet, because it's like this was perfect timing to do this, Tina. But let's get together as soon as we can this week, and then we can do things like introduce each other and how we're coaching each other and all of that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll just wing it 100%, right? So
Sure.
I just did my workout, and it's Monday, which means it's check-in day. And Tina here is probably excited because I haven't checked in for how many weeks now?
I've heard from you, but it hasn't been the official check-in on the
Yeah,
form,
yeah.
so this is great.
Something occurred to me yesterday. I thought was really interesting because it's like I'm doing the workouts, I'm doing everything, but I'm not checking in. And when I am checking in, I'm doing like half the workouts. And I realized with stunning clarity, it's like whatever I'm doing, it's half, right? It's always half. What I'm doing exactly changes, but I'm like, so it gave me a really good opportunity to like reflect on that. It's like, why is it? It's like, okay, you've gotten more consistent on the actual physical activity, but then your consistency on the logging and checking in just totally dropped off. And it's like, why is that? Why is everything I do like half of what I've been asked to do? Not everything I do, but in this case. So what do you have anything to say to that, Tina? As far as what would you suggest to other people and myself that are struggling with like, hey, I'm just not doing 100%, and I'm not sure why.
Well,
Any
so the
comments?
first thing is that's what I term as calling yourself out on your own BS. Okay? You caught yourself because as a coach, we can sit there and guide the client as much as we can, but it's kind of like a self assessment process. I can tell you all day just like you can tell me things all day, but until you come to that realization like, "Oh my gosh, I'm only doing that part. Now I get it." You got to kind of ride it out a little bit till that light bulb goes on for the client. And so that just happened. We see the light now, Art.
Right. And how long have I
And
been into it? I've been working with you for about 4 months. Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like it's been 4 months,
yeah, I think it has since
more
I
or
think it was the
less.
end of
Yeah.
February or so, something like that.
And just so the audience understands, it's been 4 months of Tina being incredibly patient and kind. And probably, I always have a vision of you rolling your eyes, like when it's 5 o'clock at night, and I realize I didn't check in, or I didn't log my workouts, or something, or I didn't work out at all, or something like that. So it's taken me about 1 quarter to come to that realization that it's like that, like, okay, Arthur, if you're in this, you're in this to win it 100%. I talk a good game about being in it 100%. And you're right. I did have kind of somewhat of a moment of clarity. Not that I wasn't really aware of it, but it was interesting how it just came about. Like, oh, you're just doing half, 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 no matter what it is. And so I want to dive in 100%. So
Yeah, and so when it comes to the trackers and such, like you with your coaching with me, we have trackers that we fill out, and we need that information. We need that feedback as a coach to guide the
yeah,
client's course. It's
yeah.
kind of like asking your car to go somewhere without telling the GPS where you got to go. Okay.
That's
So
exactly what I tell my clients, right? Yeah.
great
It's
minds.
great. Isn't it cool being a coach, Gina? It's like,
I know, right?
yeah,
Right.
it's like,
And it's that
if you,
accountability factor too.
yeah,
So when you invest in coaching services with somebody, you've got somebody that yes, albeit it takes some time sometimes, but as a coach, you know, you don't really let up. You just keep going, you keep asking and asking and asking and asking. Eventually, the client will be like, oh yeah, okay. Like something you're gonna say, something that happens is gonna all of a sudden click and turn that light bulb on, and they're gonna understand and be like, okay, I get it. This is what we have to do to move forward. This is what you need to guide my course. Because, you
Yeah.
know, we can only do our job as good as the input that we're given, the feedback that we're given. So, you know, it's only part of the picture. If I'm not given any information, I can't really help you. And I don't know
It's
like exactly
definitely a
what you're
two-way
doing.
street. Yeah, it's definitely a two-way street. I would, that's a good thing to point out to anybody who's thinking of any kind of coaching. Is like what Tina and I have done together is that we've given the other permission to coach us. So it's like, you know how it is, Tina, right? When we say we love to be your coach, but a coach tells the truth. Do I have your permission to coach you? What does that mean? It's like, I'm asking you permission to tell you the things you don't want to hear, right? Or the things you're going to
Yeah.
be resistant against. I'm going to tell you the truth. You are agreeing with me, and I'm agreeing with you that it's like we are ready to hear the hard stuff. I'm not going to be embarrassed or feel any kind of way when these issues come up. And I think that's probably one of the most important things about coaching, right? Is that part of the relationship, understanding that yes, it's encouragement and it's all the positive things, but it's also like, you know, if I feel like eating pizza, it's like Tina's going to smack me around and tell me, and I'm going to try to give her excuses, and she's going to, you know, and I might end up feeling less than or small as a result. But it's not like that in the end. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it's never any, from a coaching perspective, it's never the intent to make a person feel lesser or
No,
small. But
never.
sometimes, you know,
Mhm.
you got to deliver the hard stuff, the hard messages, and you don't always know how it's going to be received. But you know, we're not going to sit here as coaches and tell you what you want to hear. We need to tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes, you know, that's rough. It's hard saying the things that need to be said sometimes, but it is our job as coaches. That's what we have to do. And then, you know, there's no judgment either. You know, it's a judgment-free zone.
Good point. Good point.
So,
Yeah, no
yeah,
judgment whatsoever. It's all in an encouraging, loving, supportive way. That's for sure. And
yeah,
that's why I really enjoy working with you, Tina. And we try to provide the same kind of love and affection and positivity for our clients as well. So maybe I should stop putting off the inevitable now and get into some numbers. But this is actually kind of cool for those that might be thinking of doing this. Maybe Tina, you can, while I'm doing this, explain why it's important from your perspective to have these numbers all the time. I think I'll start with my weight. I might need you to remind me because I don't have the thing right in front of me, but I do have some Taylor's tape. And I would recommend this to anybody who's just starting out too. It's like you can get this at any hobby store, right? Is the measure what do you use, Tina? Do you have fancy stuff? I mean, this is what I use.
it's not necessarily fancy, but you can find them on Amazon, and I do have links on one of my pages here. But it's called a myotape, MYOTAPE, and it's
Oh,
the tape comes in a little holder, and you extend it out to, like, say you're measuring your bicep or whatever, and it's got this little tab that you can feed into the machine back into itself, and then you just click it and it tightens itself down, and then you just look like where the number is. So I see you, you're good, you're still
oh,
there.
cool. Yeah, you go ahead. I was just waiting for you to finish your thought.
Yeah, no, so you can find them online on Amazon for they help with body measurements. Just because you put the measuring tape around the body part, it connects to itself, and then you push a little button and it tightens it down,
Oh
and then
my
you just
God, I gotta get one. You just solved a lot of my problems with trying to measure myself, right?
okay. I will send you the link. I will
Okay,
send that
cool.
to you. They're not expensive. I think they're less than $10.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, here we go. Let's see
Okay.
where I'm at today. And you can see here, I've got one of these cool, I don't know, what do you
Yeah,
call
you
this?
do.
What do you call this? It's like a beam
Uh,
scale,
I don't know.
mechanical beam
It's
scale.
just like a doctor's office scale. I don't know the official name of those, but that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like they call it some kind of a beam thing, and it's like, and for anybody who's wondering, it's like I actually got this at a clinic that went out of business, you know. But it's really really rugged. It also measures your height here.
Oh, there you go.
It's got this thing on it because I love it because it's so durable. It's, I don't know how many times it's moved from house to house and place to place, but it's tough, right? And you just on any surface it'll work, and you just adjust it with a flathead screwdriver here on the side. It's exactly a doctor's office scale. I like it because I don't have to worry about plugging it in or anything and all of that stuff. So we'll see where I'm at.
Okay. So here's the thing to keep in mind with clients and stuff like that when they're doing their weight and their measurements. That is simply data that I collect, and I'm looking for trends. And you got to keep in mind that the trend isn't always going to go down, because there are a lot of variables that take place when it comes to collecting this data. So as Art knows, he gives me his weight, and then we get some measurements because I'm looking for the trend as to where these numbers are and where they're moving. And it makes a difference if he's been traveling, if maybe meals haven't been adhered to, or what have you. So I look at this data, but what's more important to me is that we get photos. And Art's going to do the photos just like this, and it's just front, back, and side. Because my favorite example that I give people is if you've got a 160-pound bodybuilder standing here and a person that weighs 160 pounds that's never touched a weight in their life, they're going to look drastically different, but that number is the same. 160 equals 160. This is why the numbers don't mean a ton to me in terms of collecting the data. The pictures do, because while I've got two people standing in front of me that each weigh 160 pounds, they're going to look drastically different due to body composition. So that's what we follow when it comes to collecting the data and the photos and that kind of thing on my end. You got to know what to do with the numbers. And, you know, that's, like I said, there's a lot of variables that come into that number. And it's not just about the, like, what you ate yesterday kind of thing, or how good you were for so many days during the week. There's a lot of facets that go into it.
Or just looking for like, oh, I'm just only looking for a downward trend, period, right?
Yeah, right.
Because actually, so here's the number. I'm at 287. I've been actually, it's interesting. Everything you just said kind of attests to that, because I think the lowest I've gotten since we've been, oh, and we should tell the audience, it's like I've been on a 30-day challenge and I'm about 3 weeks into it. I think this is like the last week. Oops.
Yeah.
That thing there.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're on week 4 of it.
Yeah. Hold on. I can't see the thing anymore. There we go. All right. So, yeah. And I got as low as 283. And then so I'm up 4 pounds from the last time I did weigh in 2 weeks ago, I guess. But it's interesting because when I look in the mirror, exactly to your point, it's like, so I've been carrying all of my weight is like here, right? All of it.
Yep.
It's all above the weight. It's right here, right here. It's all in the middle. And of course, some surface stuff everywhere else, but the bulk of it there. But when I look at my profile, or just looking in the mirror like this, it's like I have noticed a shape. It's the shape, the weight hasn't changed, but the shape is changing. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And so
I'm like, well, something's happening, so I'm cool with that.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to get hung up on numbers. I don't want to get hung up on numbers. It's like, because I'm building muscle mass. You're right. I travel a lot. Sometimes water retention is going to happen. I'm 59 years old, and who knows what else, what other variables and factors could be going on. I don't know, but a lot of things going on there. So I'm happy to report the 287. And I think I want to, Tina, is it okay if we do this on a regular basis, these videos, and track a 30-day challenge?
Sure, absolutely.
Why can we start at day 1 right now?
Sure.
This? Okay, so we'll do that. And then my people can watch you put me through the process and all of these things, and we'll check in on a regular basis. All right, let's do the rest of the numbers. Yeah, see, now I want your device, because this is always
the tricky part. I got it. I will, for anybody that's listening, we can drop the link in. It's called a myotape, MYOTAPE. And it's just got this little, so like when Art has it wrapped around, you just connect it to itself, click the button and it tightens right down.
I love
And then you
that.
can see the number.
I'll do my best with what I have to work with,
Yeah,
though.
that's
But that's
totally
but that's
okay.
the thing, isn't it? It's like I think it's important for people to know too. It's like you don't have to have an incredible, crazy budget, right, to
Right.
do these things. It's like you maybe people have been noticing. It's like I'm sitting in my garage. I've got a 3-car garage. There's the messy car side, but this side I'm dedicating to well, it's also my garden section because the back door
It's
is
all
right
right.
here, right? But again, and I just want to point out really quickly, we don't have to go around the whole room, but all of this equipment you see behind me, the bicycle, the plates, the bench, well, not, I think the ball is the only thing I bought new in the store. Everything else I found online used. And
Yep.
so I think I put together this whole home gym here for literally, if you add it all up, just a few $100s.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is wonderful for finding stuff to add to your gym. People are getting rid of stuff all the time. I don't think they should get rid of stuff, but they do get rid of stuff. So that's a good resource. And also, you can also find out on Facebook occasionally there'll be like a commercial gym that's closing or something. That's where I got my commercial treadmill from, was a gym that closed, and you get that stuff. You
Yeah.
know, granted it's used and everything like that, but you get it dirt cheap.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to where I got the scale. I mean,
Oh, right.
there's also like physical therapy clinics that close and move and things like, or they upgrade their equipment or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah,
there's a
when
lot
they
of
upgrade
interesting
and you get their
resources.
other stuff, it's wonderful.
Exactly right. So what do I do first? The chest, yeah?
Yep, we got a chest measurement here.
And I'm glad we're doing this together because it's like it's across the nipples. Am I right?
Yep. Yep.
And I don't do anything crazy like take a deep breath and all that stuff.
No,
Right?
no, 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 no.
So
Because
I'm
again, it's
relaxed. I'm relaxed. I just got it loosely around me, not too loose,
yep.
right? It's like I can feel it snug around me, right up. Oh, let me get it down to my nipples there. And so I'm at, I want to say 52, but maybe 53 is a little more accurate if I
All
relax.
right.
So 53 is my chest.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, Tina, we don't do arms or do we?
No, that's not
Not
right
yet.
now.
Not yet,
Yeah,
right?
not yet.
Okay.
We
And
will
so
eventually, but not right now.
yeah. I'll be excited when we get to that point because, as most of the people out there know, like Tina is working on her pro status for bodybuilding and stuff, and I have no intention to go pro as a bodybuilder, but I just do want to be in the best shape possible for the rest of my life. And if I look like a sexy beast doing it, I'm okay with that, right?
There you go.
So
There you
now
go.
we're gonna do.
You don't have to do what I do, but getting a lot of people come to me saying that they don't want to be in a show, but they want to look like they could, and that's fine.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I doing now? Belly or waist or what?
Waist. Yep, waist.
And that's my belt line, right?
Yep.
Because from what I understand, waist might mean something different between men and women, or no?
Yes, yes, it does. It's just the biggest thing is where you put it is where you naturally want it, where you have it, and you got to just be consistent with it. That's all. So I
Okay.
generally tell people where you think it is. Don't get all caught up on how many, exacting little things. Just where you naturally put it most of the time, because that's what you're going to be consistent with. So
Okay.
what
I'm
did you
at
get?
I'm at 46.
Okay.
This is actually perfect timing because I got to go shopping for some clothes this week, so I know what's
There you
going on.
go.
Yeah.
Good.
And then
Good.
it was hips, right? And I'm
Yep.
glad we're doing this together this time because then I can be 100% sure of exactly where I'm measuring, right? So when I think of hips, where is like right here?
Yep. Yep. Right across, right around
I can
fullest.
almost feel right where that bone is, right?
Yep.
Right above where the leg connects. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
And like I said, with when it comes to other people, you don't need to split hairs on this. It's because if it's not natural for you to put it in a certain position, you're not going to be consistent with it. So where you believe it to be, which is yep, you're good. Yep. And then you just
Almost, in
go
my
around.
case, it's almost right around my butt, right?
Yeah.
But butts are different, so
Yep.
we don't
And
want to
people,
use that across the board for everybody, I'm sure.
right, people are shaped different. What
Yeah,
did you get?
49.
49? Okay.
Okay. And then this is another one I'm curious about too, because I'll try to, can you see that okay?
Yep. You do
Okay.
your thigh.
So when we talk about the thigh, I can't see you, Tina, but tell me where to stop.
Right, no, right there. Go down, go back towards your knee a little bit. Right there. It's kind of like right in the middle.
Ah, okay. That's interesting because I've been measuring here.
Well, it all depends. I mean, every trainer is different.
Hmm.
So I
Well,
would
I
say,
just never asked for clarity, and maybe that's a good point too for everybody that watching, whether you're getting coaching on fitness or business or whatever it is, when you're not sure, ask questions,
sure.
right? So I got, what do I got? 23 and a half.
So we go around the middle part because eventually, like I know your goals, you want to, build muscle and that kind of thing. So the muscle is going to develop on your quad and your hamstring, which is going to kind of be like in the middle body of your leg. If you're measuring way up at the top, that's not going to be your quad and your hamstring. Okay.
Ah, okay. See, yeah,
That
I knew that. That's interesting because I intuitively knew there was a question there, but I didn't quite know what it was.
Yeah, I mean, and again, trainers vary. Everybody has like their own protocol, and it's not to say one is right and one is wrong. It's just what works for that trainer. Okay, so this is what works for me with my clients. This is what I prefer.
Hmm.
So, and the big thing is like with Art working with me and me working with Art, you got to put the blinders on and trust your trainer and just do what your trainer says. The biggest thing is follow the plan. That's it. Because if you start doing all kinds of other stuff, adding things in, not doing this, you're not following the
You're
plan,
right,
and it
and
makes it
you don't know
makes
what's going on if
I
you're
don't know
trying
what to
to
fix. Right,
adjust my plan to me, and I'm doing like three other programs
mhm,
or diets or something that you're not aware of.
right.
It's like from Tina's point of view, it's all from her program, and it's like there might be a problem. Like, gosh, why does this X keep happening? It's I got to adjust things, right? But she doesn't know. So I would say even if I had an idea or a thought of like, hey Tina, because we did talk about this once when it came to supplements, right? It's like I just had questions. Is there what about this and what about that? I got with my trainer about adjusting my rest day. I think I recall, right, where it's like, hey, Mondays are just not possible for or whatever it was, and so we
Yep.
can but yeah, it's like be honest with your coach, and if you're thinking of adding or subtracting or whatever, talk to the coach about it, right?
Yeah, because any addition or subtraction, therefore, is not following the
Yeah.
plan.
Now Tina, I don't know if this will work. I don't know if I can take pictures while we're on video at the same time. Should we give it a shot?
You could try,
we
yeah.
can
I
we
don't
can
know.
try.
I
I'm
don't
putting it
know.
all out there for you. So you tell me, Tina, we'll have to walk through this because I'll have to, you tell me if you just can't see me anymore or something.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I got your profile picture right now for Zoom.
oh, okay. Well, I guess let me get back to the Zoom. And so
There you are. I've got you
we'll
now.
pretend right now, okay?
Sure.
So what I do, I've got my camera set up on a little tripod. And so what I want to do for Tina, and I'll just do it after I call this time. I picked this spot in my house because she told me it's got to be the same spot and the same light every day, which makes sense. And I usually like this is where I am. It's the best. I tried to find a great. My house is interesting. It doesn't have like a big, nice white wall for a background,
That's
but
okay.
yeah. So I set the camera up here. Of course, take the shirt off and do the thing. Front, I won't get it all the way ready, but front,
Right.
side.
Yep.
I go
Side.
ahead and do both sides just for the heck of it, and then rear as well. Whole
Yep.
body though, right? I'm not
Yes.
doing it right now with the camera, but I set it up. I put it on the little timer, hit the button. It takes 10 seconds. I walk over there and it takes the pictures. And
Yep.
then I'm briefly horrified, and then I send them to Tina.
But that's what, it's totally okay. And
Yeah.
then, Art puts him on my system and then I get his check in. And then, so what I do, when I get those pictures is I compare them week to week. That's why it's got to be like in the same location. If possible, same outfit, but if not, that's okay. I can still see what's going on because like we mentioned, all the numbers that he just gave me, those are data points and I follow the data points and trends. But it's the pictures that explain the bigger story for me.
I love it. I'm a nerd when it comes to numbers too. It's like when we coach on the business side, you know that. And
Yeah.
It's really, you end up falling in love with numbers. I think at first it's kind of like I said, you're terrified of them, you're disappointed, you're depressed. It's like, oh my God, number. But it is indeed the best way to track everything. And I think after a while, like I really do, I enjoy it now, which is why I'm even willing to get on video and say, "Ooh, these are my numbers," right? And even if they don't mean anything to me, like right now, I know that in the future I'm going to be looking back and going, "Yeah, remember when you were 46 and
Yes. Yes.
287 and da da da." You got to have a baseline. You got to start somewhere. That's
That's
for
why
sure.
the pictures and the data, in the beginning, you can sit there and look at it and be like all bummed out, disappointed, and depressed, or you can flip the switch. Like I'm doing my best and I'm moving forward from this point on. I will, if I keep making this a lifestyle, I will never be here again. So you can kind of like kiss this point like goodbye. You're going to be improving day by day by day. And I know it's hard on social media because people always see the big wins. Like my pictures are 8 years apart most of the time. Okay, when I'm doing like before and afters, but everybody has a start. Everybody has a day one. You've got to remember that. Everybody has a day one. And then it's just what you do. You compound those little wins over time, and those add up to the big wins that everybody's looking for.
You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of plateaus. And I can liken it to, I was just on the phone with a client before we got on the business side of things. And uh, what can I divulge? It's like they're basically in an application process with the state, right? And it's like we had a timeline of doing this and that, getting paperwork done, which led to other things in the business. Well, as can be expected when it comes to bureaucracy and paperwork, some things came up that delayed the process. So it's almost like a plateau where it's like, oh my God, this wasn't what we expected. Now we'll have to adjust the whole timeline. They were actually pretty kind of upset last week. And almost, it was interesting. I had to coach them through that, through the emotional side, but also the fact that like, hey, these things happen. It's not abnormal. And so what you just said made me think of like plateaus and stuff, because it's like there are times in the past because I've done this before, right? And it's like, I'm crushing it, I'm killing it, I'm eating everything right, I'm doing the thing. And it's like, and no numbers changed at all for like 2 weeks or something like that. Is that common, Tina, or is that
Yeah, it
how does
is.
that work?
No, it is, but that's why the pictures are so very important. And there are so many factors that come into this. It could be, you know, whether or not you did poo that morning, or is your water consumption consistent? Consistent's going to be the biggest key. So if you've missed a day, or if you had maybe a meal with a lot of sodium, those numbers aren't going to do what you think. People's weight can vary as much from 3 to 5 to even I've seen as high as 8 pounds in a single day. Okay. And that
Oh
all
wow,
depends on so many variables. So when it
eight
comes
pounds in
to,
a single day.
yeah, it's really,
That's pretty
really, really,
wild.
really, yeah, that's like, we're talking like air travel, like some dehydration, too much sodium, like all the bad things that can happen, and then they just all compound together, and it's just like, and you feel like garbage the next day. So when it comes to like plateaus, maybe that number hasn't changed, or that number hasn't changed very little. Again, the pictures are going to tell the bigger story, because you might be losing fat and building muscle. So at the same time, which leads me to explain that muscle does not weigh more than fat. If you've got 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat, a pound equals a pound. Okay. Muscle just looks a lot better. So while that number might not be changing the way you expect it to change, that's because maybe you're working out, you're doing the grind, you're getting it, so you're building some muscle. So, the composition is changing, but your number's not changing. It's doing one of these. It's just kind of hovering.
I love it. Um, I think we can switch gears a little bit because now's a really good time. I'm doing so I just finished working out, did the check-in, and then Tina shared with me this wonderful, what do you call the pickle juice soda
Oh,
concoction? I don't,
we can call it that. I don't have a name for it, but we
yeah,
can call it pickle juice soda.
but for those watching anyway, it's like, and I got it all, I just happen to have it here in front of me. Of course, I've got my cup and it's I got my, they actually sell pickle juice, and I did check the labels before I buy anything now. I check the labels to make sure they're not sneaking stuff in on me. And I was actually kind of pleased to see that the coloring for this is from turmeric.
Okay. I didn't know
It's
that they
not,
sold separate pickle juice. I learned something new that's outstanding. I was thinking, because I'm gonna start that soon too.
yeah,
And I was
yeah, it's
thinking I was gonna
cool.
have to get pickles.
I love it. I love it. But I think it's important. Maybe while I put this together, you could explain why I'm putting this together and why I'm doing it right after working out. But yeah, because if you look up the health benefits of turmeric, they're fantastic. And
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, I look it up. It was a pleasant surprise. Better than finding corn syrup or something in there.
Yeah.
So what I'm
So,
doing, I got my pink salt.
yep.
This is actually fine grained sea salt that's in this salt shaker. It's
Okay.
not regular. So I went and got that, and it tells me to put a pinch. I don't know what that is in metric, but I got a pinch
Yeah,
of
that's all right. Just a pinch is a
yeah,
pinch.
a
That's
pinch
good.
of pink salt, a pinch of the sea salt, which I'm just kind of looking at in my hand there. Put it in there, and let me put that back.
So what Art is making is a natural electrolyte replacement drink. Now, this is very, very important. People hear me out. This is not something that you drink every day. Okay? It is not. And it's not something that you guzzle either after when you get done. It's something that you sip very little, maybe do it twice a week, every other. It depends on how much you're perspiring and that kind of thing when you work out. But this is not a daily thing. But Art was looking for something that was 100% natural for electrolyte replacement, and he has now named it pickle juice soda, which is outstanding. And I'm going into prep as an athlete. I am going to be switching over to this as well because no calories, all natural, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I cannot stress it enough. It is not an everyday thing, and you do not guzzle it. You sip it. Okay. Okay, Art, show us what you got.
I got you. Let me speak to that for a second. So I am a profuse sweating person. I mean, metabolically, I don't need to work out to sweat. I sweat sitting still. My father says I get it from my great grandfather. Everybody's probably met one of those people, right? We just get slimy no matter what. Even when I'm in my best of shape, right? I sweat in the snow. It doesn't matter. It's like I just sweat a lot. That being said, it's like, so when I'm working out, I mean, it's double time. Yeah, it's like you could find me by the trail of sweat that I leave. So that being said, and for a person like me, because I'm making it personal now, it's like, and I don't want to hurt myself, right? Because Tina says, this is a drink you don't want to do every day. But what would be the best recommendation for someone like me, Tina, who, I mean, I sweat buckets when I work out, and I can tell by my lips and things that I lose a lot of water by the time I'm
Okay.
done with it. Like right now, I can tell by my lips and everything. It's like of course I'm drinking water, but how
Yes.
often should I do this?
Um, I would actually have to do bend some numbers, Art, to take a look at it with your weight
Okay.
and everything. And we would have to tighten up that checking in that we're talking about so I can watch a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you do you. You know you best. There's only so much I can do with the numbers and the data and that kind of thing. Yes, I will still advise you on it. But if you start feeling lightheaded or whatever, then yes, by all means, you need
Mhm.
that. You need to add. I would say add some of that pink Himalayan salt, add a little bit of that to each meal, provided that you do not have high blood pressure and that kind of thing. I would say for you, Art, you could probably even push more than a gallon of water per day because you do have like that hyperhidrosis. And because at a bare minimum, I recommend people drink a gallon of water per day because you just lose so much naturally and you're losing even more. So if you could push
Yeah.
even more, I would recommend that. But you can do things like take a magnesium pill at night, take some zinc at night in pill form overnight, and then add a little bit of salt, tiny bit, to some of your meals during the day. Depends on how you're feeling. So if you stand up and you're getting lightheaded and that kind of thing, you might need to add a little bit of salt to one of your meals.
Perfect. Okay,
It's
so I'm on the last ingredient now, which is the tonic water with
tonic.
quinine, right?
Yep. Yep.
Explain quinine and why.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah, I
remember,
was
I
curious too.
honestly, I'll be honest with you. I read it one time and it's, it's one of those things sometimes the information goes in the vault and it gets buried a little bit. And I'm like, ah,
Oh, I get
the
it. I get
recall's
it.
not so great.
I've got my whole supplement routine in a box right
There you
here, and
go.
I know they're all important, but I couldn't tell you why because I'd forgotten. But I'd look at I did the deep research with you and other places and things over the years where it's like, oh yeah, this is absolutely
Yes.
necessary.
Yep.
It makes sense. I just don't remember why. But
That's it.
I would say I found it extremely, and maybe you have a recommendation. I found it extremely difficult to find tonic water that didn't have sugar in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any like recommendations because everybody across the country has different resources available to them. But the biggest thing that I can tell people is read your labels. And I mean, just be exhaustive with it. I remember one time I was making a meal and I was deep into prep, which we use just spices a lot, and they got to be sugar free. I was using garlic salt and I actually read the label and it said garlic salt blend. I'm like, blend? What is this
Yeah,
blended with? And I turned it around and the first ingredient in the garlic salt was sugar. I almost lost my mind because I was at a critical point in my prep and you like no no. So over and over and over again, read your labels because sometimes the companies will change their formulas as well. And while you're using a product and you're like, I've used this for 1,000 years, look at the product label and make sure that they haven't changed the formula.
they get tricky with the wording too because it's
Yeah, they
like
do.
there's sucrose, glucose, os. So now it's like my eye catch it. In fact, I came across a new one. I don't remember what it was. And yesterday when I was shopping for the tonic water, because I have to buy it online because it's so yeah, it's so wild. And there was a something ost, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I know enough to know that I need to stay away from it. So yeah, it gets really tricky, doesn't it?
Does anything ending with the like the OSE, like you said. So my
Mhm.
red flag personally for me is anything that ends in OL, sorbitol, mannitol, xylitol, those because I have a gut sensitivity that I just discovered, okay, to the sugar alcohols, those kind of things. They really bother me badly. So I have to stay clear of any of the ones that end in OL. And so like I told earlier in the call, Art knows himself best. Art needs to do him at the end of the day. I can advise as much as I can. But some of these things you do need to discover and just have an awareness about it. And then like mention it to me. So like now I know Art has yeah, well, I know he likes everything all natural all the time, and now he has wants to stay away from anything that's OSE at the end. And now you know I stay away from anything that's OL at the end when it comes to those sugar alcohols.
We probably should we could do a whole episode on educating yourself to ingredient lingo. It makes me think of gluten, right? And how there's literally 27 or 30 different names for glucose. And
Yeah.
especially for those that are, looking out for allergies and stuff like that. I mean, and it's almost like they catch on, right? It's like, oh, if it just said sugar, well, the population stays away from it. And I swear, it's like they just change the name to slip it in on us, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, they do. They do get sneaky. So that's where I'm
really
saying
sneaky, yeah.
read the labels over and over and over again and review the products that you use frequently. Like, the art, look at that tonic water, I don't know, maybe 5 years from now or whatever, and make sure, or not that long, but just continue to make sure that it's sugar free and that's that kind of thing because they do change their formulas.
Tina, even the sugar-free one had sugar in it.
Yeah, they get
That
tricky
doesn't
because
make sense, right? It's like,
it
wait, what did
doesn't,
you
but
just what did you just say? Well, it didn't say sugar-free on the label. It said light, right? And it was advertised as such, sugar-free and this and that. But it's like, oh my gosh, it again reminds me of well, I raised chickens too, right? And I feel like there's a a big thing that goes on with wordplay, right? Like we hear things like free range. So what do you think of when you think free range, right? It's like, well, if the average person is anything like me, it's like at first it's like, oh, free range. I'm thinking, acres and acres of sunshiny open meadow, that
Right.
animals are frolicking through, and that's open
Right.
range, right? Like the
Right.
cowboy movies or something, right? Or driving
Right.
cattle from Montana to Texas. That's open range. And it's
Yep.
like, no, in the food industry, it means that an animal can see, um, I think it's a 3 foot square patch of blue sky, and it's 3 feet outside of a doorway. They can walk outside 3 feet, and that's considered free range. As I was saying,
Oh
open
my
range, free range.
God.
Yeah, and so the entire food industry has these things that you got to watch out for. Meat, right? Could be hormone free. It's like, sure, we didn't inject them with hormones. It's all in the food. They didn't tell you that what's in the feed for the animals, and it just
Right.
gets crazy, right? So it's like, oh,
Crazy.
even the word organic, right? This would be interesting homework for anybody to go out, like look up what exactly organic means, defined by the FDA and the food industries and things like that. It's not what you think, right? Because
100%.
again, I think of organic as, yeah, it grew up out of the ground with fresh water and natural compost and all, like, like
Right.
I'm walking through the forest and I picked an onion or something. And it's like, it used to be that,
Right.
but they get really sneaky on us, like we've already
Yeah,
said.
and they do, and things you also got to look at the labels when it says all natural. Okay, all natural, but it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that it's all good for you.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
people,
know what the process was, but it's like obviously somewhere along the line, these things got questioned in a court somewhere. And so lawyers and people, I'm sure we could probably find a whole history. I'm just assuming right now, but somewhere along the line that, these things had to be defined, right? And then they were, but they aren't defined that the way we might think.
right,
And so when we pick our supplements, I'm really, like Tina has said, it's like, even my supplements are an interesting there's argument, I would say, too, that they're highly debatable, right? Some people are like, oh, all of it's complete garbage, do not take supplements. And then there's people that probably take way too many from anywhere. And when I worked in a clinic, I found that there are a couple organizations that check for quality when it comes to supplementation. So I'll only buy supplements that have been approved by those particular agencies, right? And then I have to come back and check those particular agencies every once in a while, because you never know who's paying them,
right,
right?
right.
To
The
pass it,
standards change, right?
you really got to do your homework. It's like
Yeah, you do.
it can be time consuming and expensive to be healthy, but
Yep,
it's the best investment of our time and our money. I'll say that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because if you don't have your health and if you don't stay proactive about it, you've got nothing. You gotta, all these things that people say all the time. I'm so busy, I can't, this, that, and another thing. I'm like, look, if you don't have your health, all those things that are so busy and so important right now, they're not gonna matter because your health is in, the basement. You absolutely need to stay on top of this. This is the most important thing, because if you do not have this, all the other stuff that's pulling you away from this is just not gonna matter.
That's probably this is a probably a great end to the conversation, because I have to go soon. But
Yep.
I'll say this, and even on the business coaching side, because as you know, Tina, we coach business and life at the same time, because
Yep.
it's all intertwined. And for entrepreneurs and other people that are real go-getters and stuff on the business side, it's like I've shared with them, when it comes to things to where like health and lifestyle might be the thing that's starting to get in their way because they're just pushing too hard. I found that, because I used to prioritize work over everything else, right? It's like if I woke up and I was really in the zone to go to work, it's like I'll work out later, right? It's like I put health secondary or tertiary or whatever it was. It's down on the list. But when I turn that around and made my health and everything that includes, and that includes a lot of things for me, meditation and my spiritual journey and, healthy stuff. When I've made it my number one priority to where I organize my life around my health habits, everything else just fell right into place. It was strange. It's like I get more done now in less amount of time just because I'm working out and, taking those. I don't know how it works, but it just works.
I I know, as I go deeper and prep, my workouts are gonna get longer and longer, cardio, whatever, whatever. And it's like the day doesn't expand, but you start to compact things and compartmentalize things very well. Or,
Yep.
I know everybody says, oh, multitask, you shouldn't do it, blah, blah. But when you're sitting there doing 40 minutes of cardio, an hour of cardio, you can very well get some other things done. You're doing cardio.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a matter of how your perception, what
Well,
becomes important to you.
yeah, I think a good analogy is like machines, right? We can refer to the brain and the body as a machine. And if we compare that to any machine, right, it's like it needs the best and regular maintenance to run um, at optimally, right? And so I feel that when I'm taking care of my health, number one, my productive time, my thinking, my clarity,
Yes.
the order of my thoughts, my organization of my day, it all gets so optimized that's
Yes.
how that I'll get more done in 4 hours in the morning than I used to in 10 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something like that. I haven't actually measured it, but there is a noticeable and significant difference. That's for sure.
Absolutely. You're feeling better, you're sleeping better, you're eating better. Everything becomes better, and I cannot shout that enough from the rooftops. When you take care of yourself the way you're supposed to, all life becomes easy. It becomes a lot easier.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a good place to leave it for
Yep.
today. So thanks, Tina. And I love this. I'm really happy to be both of us sharing our journeys with
Yes.
anybody who's taken the time to watch. And that being said, I'm sure I speak for both of us when I say reach out to us, folks. We're happy to help and give you some feedback, and do stay in contact with us.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tina, cut. Boop. All right.
Yeah, I